This Sudoku Primer video is the answer sheet to video number 127, which was a pop quiz. Pop quiz is where I just fill in numbers and don't comment on them, don't explain why I put in each number where I did, and you try and figure out why each number goes where it was placed. And so if you haven't seen that video already, I would suggest going to viewing video number 127, and then you can watch this video to get answers to the pop quiz. I'll just go one number at a time, and I'll go in the same order that the numbers were placed in pop quiz itself. So to get started, we filled in a 1 right here, and that's because we got a 1 here already, and so one of these is a 1, and one of these is a 1, and we've got a 1 here already, so we know that's a 1. Then we placed a 3 right here because of these 3's already, so we can place a 3 there. Then we put a 2 in box 2 right here, and we did pretty much the same thing. We got a 2 here, so we know one of these is a 2, and therefore we know one of these is a 2, and there's a 2 there already. Then we placed a 2 right here. That's pretty straightforward. We got a 2 here, a 2 here, and a 2 here. So the only cell without a 2 is that one right there in box 6. And then we placed a 2 in box 4 right here. Now this might be the trickiest number place in this puzzle. It's a medium puzzle, so usually there aren't real tricky things, but this one was a little bit tricky. There's a 2 here already, so one of these has to be a 2. Okay. So in this section, either this in column 1 has to be a 2, or this in column 3 has to be a 2. We've also got a 2 here, and so a 2 has to fit either here or here, again in column 1 and column 3. So in these two boxes we cover columns 1 and 3, and so in this box we have to have a 2 in column 2. And there's a 2 here already, so the 2 has to fit right there. That's called double column elimination. You can do the same thing with rows, or do double row elimination. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go to sudokuprimer.com and go to techniques, and you'll see a page on that. So that was a little bit tricky for a medium puzzle. Then we put a 2 right here. Again, we used this. We saw a 2 here. We know one of these is a 2, and there's a 2 here and a 2 here already, so we know that has to be a 2. Now I placed a 4 there because there's a 4 in this column already and a 4 in this column already. And then we placed a 5 here. That's because we've got a 5 here already and here. And then we put a 5 in box 2, a 5 in this row, 5 in this row, so this row needed a 5, and so that goes there. That 5 was pretty easy. We got a 5 here already, a 5 here already, so the 5 went there. Here we have a 5 there and a 5 there. Okay, here we've got a 5 and a 5 in this section, so one of these has to be a 5, and there's a 5 there already. So we know that 5 goes there. Then we put a 5 in box 8 because we got a 5, 5, 5, 5. So that's the only cell the 5 can go in there. Then we placed a 6 there because we have a 6 there and a 6 there. And then this is a 6 because the 6 can't go anywhere here because of that 6 we just placed. And we put a 7 there to finish this row. 7 is the only number that was missing in that row. Then we put a 7 there, and we found that because of this 7 here. So one of those is a 7. There's a 7 there, so one of these has to be a 7. We've got a 7 there and a 7 there already. And we put a 2 there because we have a 2 in this row already. Put a 2 there because we have a 2 here already and a 2 here already. Then we put a 4 in box 1 because these two columns have a 4 already. And we filled in that 7 because here's a 7 right here. And that 7 was pretty easy because of this 7 here. And then this is a 7 also. Then we completed this box. The 8 was the only number missing there. Okay, now we've got an 8 here. We know that's an 8 because we've got an 8 here already. We don't have an 8 in this column yet, but we know that the 8 has to fit here. That's called what we call ghost 8s. We know that one of these has to be an 8, and they're both in the same column, so we know that can't be an 8. You can go to sudokuprimer.com and look up ghost numbers to learn more about that. And then we put a 1 here for 2 reasons. We have ghost 1s here, and we also know that that's the only number that was missing in that column. And then we completed that box by putting a 3 in there. Then we put a 6 here and a 9 here. They were the only 2 numbers missing here, and we saw a 9 here, so we knew that couldn't be a 9. And now we can put a 9 right here in box 2 because we got a 9 here and a 9 here already. And we've got a 6 here and a 6 here and a 6 here, so we know this is a 6 right there. And then we got to put an 8 right here. Now that one is a little bit tricky. We've got a we could have put the 8 here, but we know that the 8 goes here because we were missing 3 numbers in this box, 3, 4, and 8. And there's a 3 here, so we know that can't be an 8. And there's a 4 here. I mean, that can't be a 3. And there's a 4 here, so we know that can't be a 4. And therefore, it has to be an 8, and the 3 4s go here. But we can't solve those yet. And then we put a 6 here and a 3 here. The only 2 numbers left in this row, there's a 3 there already, so we know that had to be a 6. And then we finish this box. There's an 8 and a 9 missing. There's a 9 there already, so 8, 9. Now we're missing 1 and 8 in this box, and there's an 8 there. So we can finish that box. And there's only 1 and 6 missing in this column. There's a 6 there. So 1 and and 6 go there. There's a 3 and an 8, the only two numbers that are left in this box. There's a 3 there already, so we put an 8 there and a 3 there. And now we know the 3 in box 5 can't fit here. It has to fit here or here because there's a 3 there. We still don't know whether it fits here or here, but we can see there's 3 and 4 missing in this column. And there's a 4 here already, so we know that's a 3. Okay, and then we finish the 3 and 4 here in box 8. 3 there, 4 there. Okay, now we're missing a 7 and an 8 here. And we've already got an 8 there. So we know that's a 7 and that's an 8. We're missing 4 and 7 here. We just filled in that 7, so we know that's a 4 and that's a 7. And 4 and 1 are the only numbers missing here, and there's a 1 there, so that's a 4 and that's a 1. And to finish the puzzle, there's a 1 and an 8 missing here. We've got an 8 there already, so 1 and 8. And that's it. So I hope that helped you see why each number was placed where it was in this answer sheet. And the next video I'm going to do is I'll do a pop quiz on a hard puzzle, a little bit harder than this medium. So I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.